All right, man, we're back. I don't care how dark it is in here, man. It's Brazilian Jiu Jitsu safe for the elderly, women, children, vulnerable, disabled. Is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu the sport to get in shape? Is what is it? Is it the sport to learn self defense? Let's talk. First of all, I've been in Jiu Jitsu for years. I'm 56. I'm a purple belt. I have been Dan ranked in Sanukas Ryu Jiu Jitsu. For those of you know what that is, I've done Kyokushinkai Karate, Judo, a little bit of Sambo, not much of that. Been around the martial arts, been in different schools. I'm just a hobbyist. I'm just a guy that works that likes to train. First thing that's going to happen when you get into jiu-jitsu school is most of them are going to push you to compete. They're going to push you to compete and compete and compete and compete and compete. Not really concerned about what's going on in your life. You know, do you have the money? Just compete, 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 compete. And some of it instructors require, hey, you need to compete just once and every now and then. And I do think, competition is reasonable. Some jiu-jitsu schools have gotten smart and just have in-house tournaments. But I saw this 40-year-old guy get his about a blue belt, get his leg broken, his tibia fractured by a black belt in his own school's in-house tournament. And that's jiu-jitsu in a nutshell. We got Andre Galvao touching people, apparently, allegedly. We've got alleged accusations of Leandro Vieira, his brother, not Leo. We've got Cyborg, the alleged case. We just got case after case after case after case of various instructors touching on girls. Is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu safe for young girls? No. Unless you can find a women's only class, forget that. Is Brazilian Jiu Jitsu safe for the disabled? I can barely get an instructor to adapt the workout for somebody with a torn abductor muscle, let alone a missing leg or arm. I can't imagine that. Oh, you can do it, just roll. I was in a class one time, and they had the first class. They had an old 65-year-old guy doing barambolos. He almost broke his neck. He got upside down. He couldn't get out. It was, and this is a lot of schools. You have to realize jiu-jitsu instructors are young. They want to compete. They don't know how to teach different body types. They might not have any education. They might not teach them methodology, but they might not even be certified personal trainers. They just want your tuition. They just want your money. And I know there's a lot of good schools out there, but there's too many bad schools for me to recommend somebody at 45 or 50 doing jiu-jitsu. Now, the first response I get is that, oh, you're a punk, you're a pussy, you ain't no good. You're right, I'm not no good at this. I just train. I'm not particularly good. I just train. And I like rolling. I like going to visit places and rolling and training and having a good time. Exercise. I'm not really concerned with competition. When I first started, I was. And I got caught up with it for years. And I think it retarded my progress. But like this year, man, I'm doing like F45 or CrossFit or D1. I'm trying to get in the best shape of my life. I'm trying to have functional fitness. I'm not trying to go to a gym and get injured so bad that I can't work. And it happened to me almost this year. I got injured really bad this year. And maybe look in the mirror and be like, you don't want to be crippled. You don't want to have double knee. I mean, every time you go to the doctor with one of the jiu-jitsu injuries, it's thousands of dollars out your pockets. Co-pays, surgeries. It's out your pocket. School not paying for that. They don't even have insurance, training insurance like judo. They don't even have that. I think they have jiu-jitsu insurance that you can get now. You can pay a policy to where it'll pay some cash if you get hurt. But I'm going to tell you this because I'm going to give it to you straight, and I'm not about trying to make any profit. If you want to make money, if you want to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, seriously, you want to Jiu-Jitsu, I want to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighter. I want to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for self-defense. Let me tell you something. First of all, not many jiu-jitsu guys know how to break fall. honestly, uh, I would honestly go to a jujitsu. I would honestly go to a judo school and learn how to break fall the first 1 or 2 months before I started jujitsu. Really, learn how to fall. Or your school, if they don't teach you how to fall and self defense, how to get out of bear hug, how to get out of case of time, how to get out of a wrist hold, how to get out of a choke. You need to learn those. You need to learn balance, kazushi, falling, off balancing. And then all your technique should be defense. It should be curriculum based self defense against common scenarios. And at this age, you should be doing self defense. You should be trying to get a work and doing self defense, and then you should work your way into rolling. And you should do it in short bursts. Get every now and then do a hard roll. Most of it just kind of move around, get your body used to it, and do that. Don't go out here these IBJJF tournaments and have a heart attack or die or get seriously hurt, end up in the hospital. Or a 40-year-old woman goes to her second class and gets her elbow shattered in 4 different places from an armbar. And she's been in her second. This is what goes on in these gyms, and nobody says anything. To the point now, I've come to the conclusion, and I'm going to catch probably a lot of heat for this. I'm coming to the conclusion that jiu-jitsu is not safe for the old, the elderly, and the young ladies. Not at this time. Not until somebody gets some training or you have to seriously, first thing you should do before you join the gym is look them up, look up the crime records, make sure they're not in safe sport as a violator, make sure they're not wanted criminally for sexual, make sure they're not on the child database. Those are the 3 things you have to check first. Then you need to look at the reviews and read the ones that are dissatisfied to see if there's any truth. You'll see somebody who, because you're going to have a lot of gyms say, hey, tell the students, go give me 5-star. Read the ones and then go to your gym. And if all they talk is competition, 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 how many medals we won, walk out of there. If they talk about their lineage, and what they come from this royal lineage, you're about to get into a cult. Get up out of there. Do some serious research and understand that the jiu-jitsu instructor is not your friend. He is you're paying for he's your teacher, but you're enrolling in a school like any other school outside the university. You're there to learn something. I mean, you can have the respect and all of the complimentary sensei and this, that, and other, or maybe teacher, coach. I like that better, coach. And just don't sit up there and try to become buddies with just because somebody rolls on you with the mat. They're your buddy. Keep that business relationship. Another thing to look out for is when they pair rounds. If your instructor is not paying attention to who you're being paired with, if you're one of the categories, a young person, disabled person, a woman, or an older person, if they're just pairing you with random people and it repeats itself, get up out of there. They should understand the limitations. This guy had back surgery. I'm not gonna put him against this young 20-year-old wrestler. If this wrestler knows what he's doing, if he can control himself, but this guy's a doctor. He can't get his hands broken. He's an airplane pilot. You don't know a pilot. He was a black belt, but he said, "Hey man, I have to select my training partners." Craig Jones said that the best thing for you to do is just get some tapes and get some trusted friends and build a garage mat and just train around the house. I mean, that's obviously train with some trusted friends and y'all can turn it up a little bit. That's the best way. Really, that's the way to go. That's the way to go, man. Get some mats and just roll around with some buddies, learn a few moves, and go home. Really. As opposed to paying $200-300 and you like, man, am I gonna get hurt today? Now I roll not to get hurt. I don't even, and then I think when you hit 50 at that point, You can have people who disagree. They're gonna be fanatic, like, oh man, you need to hammer and every day. Man, some of these people have jobs. And some people gotta go to work. Some people like a nurse, they have to go to work and want to take care, but they can't be out of work. They don't have the financial backing. And some people just need to do technique at a certain age. Uh, I'm seeing guys in their 40s, who Brazilian Jiu Jitsu guys who are like upper, they can't walk. You want to be able to play with your grandkids. You want to be able to go walking with your wife up a hill without, oh, my knee is bad because, I was doing tackle and grapple for hours. So, yeah, is BJJ safe? At this point, the verdict is out. The verdict is out. Is Jiu Jitsu safe? Now let's talk about getting in shape. Let me be honest with you, man. Probably the ecological approach to gyms that where you're constantly moving are going to get you in shape. If you have a brutal warm up, it's going to get you in shape. But you do a lot of resting, and the healthiness and the jujitsu it just doesn't go together. You see black belts way out of shape, purple belts because they are still or they use their weight. I mean, if you're training with a guy who's obviously overweight and he's rolling with him, he's an advanced belt. He's just trying to bully you so he can just get on top of you and just use his weight to crush you. That's not skill. That's doing nothing for you and it's doing nothing for him. For someone over 45, there's other ways to get in shape. Boxing, because you're just doing basically pad work and you're getting accomplishment. High eight F45, high rocks, CrossFit if you really want to get intense. There's ways to get in shape. Rowing machine, circuit training. Wrestling is fun, but um, we have to understand what we're doing. And there's limits to this. When you get to the point where you realize, hey man, I'm never gonna be a world champion. I'm never gonna be a really good competitor. And then you get ignored in the gym. Unless you get private lessons. If you get the private instructor, like, oh my friend, get privates. But that's an approach I would do. I would say, you know what, get privates. Get privates, learn a little bit, learn some self-defense, or I mean one of those Gracie academies. Where you can learn the 32 cycle and you can learn, good defense moves and call it a day. Or a good club judo school if you can handle the falls at that age. The judo usually has, they have a certain methodology, and you do a lot of uh, uchikomi and less randori, and I was just not sparring that much. Maybe don't spar that much. When you do, get a good, but don't spar that much. Do grip fighting, do position moves, do escapes. Get somebody to work with you. If you don't get them to work with you, then you're at the wrong place. And a lot of instructors don't know what to do with older instructors, other than they pay good tuition. And older students are good because older students will buy privates from you. They want to support your business, and they say, hey, I get some private lessons, and you work with them, and you get them to the point to where they can be kind of competitive on the mat. Not necessarily beat everyone, but be competitive. I don't know. What do you think? I know I'm going to get a lot of negative comments with this. But yeah, jiu-jitsu, we're going to talk more about jiu-jitsu in specific. Jiu-jitsu and your instructor doesn't know anything about mobility or human anatomy or anything. He just knows, he just won a bunch of medals at a tournament. I mean, you got to think about, this abuse is gonna stop when we stop supporting these schools that support that. Just stop going to them. Stop buying their videos. So yeah, the verdict is not safe. Maybe it'll be safe, but right now, it's not safe.